If I could be honest, creating YouTube videos can get lonely, especially if you're a solo creator. And maybe you've been wishing or thinking that it would be really cool if somebody can look at my videos and help me make them better. Whether you like to look into the camera and make talking head videos, live stream, maybe you do cooking videos, or even a video podcast, regardless of what your channel is about, the kind of videos you are making, or even how bad you think your setup is. Well, that's why I'm excited, because in this video, I'll be reviewing and reacting to YouTube videos from our Think Media community. And I'll be sharing my best pointers and even some gear recommendations if you're looking to level up your setup. And I know you're gonna learn so much in this video because I'll be sharing things that can apply to your videos today. All that and more on the YouTube video review show. Let's go.
You gotta just press record.
What is up? It is Omar Altakori with Think Media. This channel is all about helping you build your influence with YouTube and online video. And the way we do that is by sharing YouTube strategy. We talk about the best cameras for beginners, how to get started with your smartphone, and super excited to be doing something kind of new this year, to be reviewing your YouTube videos, people in our Think Media community. But if you are watching on the live stream, would love to know where you are watching from. Go ahead and put it in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, you can put where you're watching from, and in the you can put hashtag replay fam. But we're so excited because we're joined by our awesome community of our Video Ranking Academy students. And so I'm excited for that. This stream is brought to you by our free 1-hour YouTube class, where you can learn how to take YouTube or create YouTube to be a part-time or even full-time income. And that class is free for you to take, and would love for you, if you're looking to level up a YouTube channel this year. That is at thinkmasterclass.com. So excited to get into this. Going to be reviewing some videos, and I really think you're going to get some encouragement, because it doesn't matter, what you have. Yeah, I found that excellence is really using and maximizing what you already have. So sometimes you look at a setup like this, like mine, you're like, man, I'm not doing it unless it looks like Omar's setup, like the drippy, crispy Omar got going on. But I want to encourage you that you can get started with your smartphone, and some of these creators are actually using their smartphones. And I just wanted to share real quick, because I'm so encouraged to see, pro YouTubers who you would consider professional YouTubers. Maybe you would consider us here at Think Media a professional YouTuber, but one I would consider is Marquez Brownlee. He's one of the, if not the biggest tech YouTuber out there. If you look at his videos, he's been posting videos for 14 years. He's a tech YouTuber, and you could see it, like he's been with golf videos on softwares on Windows, and you're talking hundreds of videos before you even see, what you see of him now. This is what he was posting. If you go to most popular, like this is what he's doing now. Another person I'm reminded of is someone literally taking YouTube by storm, and that is Ryan Trahan. If you don't know what he's doing, he's posting vlogs that are getting millions of views a day, growing by hundreds and hundreds of subscribers a day. But these are his videos, tracks. He was posting track meets and stuff until he found his thing. So don't despise the day of small beginnings. And I think you can learn so much from today's review. So the first person we're going to review is Hannah with Hope and Future Bible Devotions. We're going to be watching a few moments from the intro of a video, and then looking at their setup and seeing how they can improve it, or even what they're doing well. And so I'm going to just share this screen in just a moment. Technical difficulties real quick, but we're getting to it. We are right here. Did she disappear? She did not disappear. She is right. I see her right there. Here we go. Sharing it on screen. And here we go.
Episode, we'll be talking about one of the most underrated fathers in the Bible, in my opinion at least. That is Joseph, the father of Jesus. Now, you might be thinking,
Joseph? But didn't he die before Jesus' public ministry?
First of all, we can only assume that because he wasn't involved in the gospel records of Jesus' adult life.
Awesome. All right, number one, this is what you would call a talking head video. If this is the kind of content you're doing on your channel, let me know in the comments. I do talking head, or this is the kind of stuff I like doing. But this is a talking head video. You can see that she's using a bedroom. All right, we can all make that conclusion. But one thing I love about this setup, let me just start off with what I like, is the symmetry of this setup. You can see that she's sitting in the middle of her bed. And so her bed frame and her nightstand and her shelves up top are actually creating leading lines. Leading lines are things that force you to look at your subject. And having leading lines in your shot can be helpful if you can, do it. You can see in my setup right now, I have a calendar behind me, and that is providing a leading line to my calendar as well. And so I think in that case, it's good. I think it sounds great. If you didn't know, she's using a lavalier mic, which is a clip-on mic that you can clip on your shirt. And it's specifically the Deity VLav. It's about a $40 mic that you could plug right into your computer or your smartphone, and it'll give you consistent audio depending on the device you are using. So I think all that is good. I think the camera settings are correct. I think her motion is good. So her frame rate and her shutter speed is dialed. And I actually have a photo of her setup. She sent me a few, and I'll bring that up right here. So this is her setup right here. This is kind of like what you see in front of the camera, right? So she has a nice little light that she's using right now. This is kind of like we have a video on this. It's like the, a super cheap YouTube studio setup. It literally has a phone clamp and a light. But she's using this ring light. And what I like is that she has the ring light up top. Most people put ring lights directly in front of their face. And I would say that isn't the best route, because especially if you're wearing glasses, you're going to get reflection. But if you want the most flattering type of light, put the light a little off to the side and point down at your face. So right now my light is about 40 degrees off from my camera, and it's pointing down at my face. So good on that. And it's just cool to see that she's using a teleprompter. So she's probably dialing in her hooks and maybe putting her smartphone right here. And I could tell that it looks like a Sony crop censored camera and with the kit lens, and it looks really good. Like some people would say the kit lens isn't all that good, but it looked really good in her setup, as it gave her the blurry background that a lot of people love. And, some people in the comments are, I have already hand selected these videos, but I would love to answer your questions if you have any. Just put question marks in the comments, 3 question marks in front of your question and 3 question marks after your question, and would love to get to those and even help you with your setup as well. But with that being said, I think she's doing such a good job. If you're doing talking head videos, this is a good way to go, is having a lavalier mic hooked up and putting the light. Now, I think what she can do to improve the setup is just lighting herself up a little bit more. You want to be the brightest thing in your shot. And so, if you look at her shot, you could see that she's a little bit dark. And so, Hannah, if you're watching this, so excited for you as you're creating great content. I didn't even talk about like the intro in itself. Like the editing is great. You're crushing your edits. But I would encourage you to just brighten up maybe the ISO on the camera. Just increase it a tad bit, because I want you to be the brightest thing in the image, and it wouldn't blow out your background quite much. So I would encourage you to do that. But yes, again, ring light hack for you is to make sure you put the ring light off to the side and down at your face rather than directly in your face, because it's also not that flattering. All right. Let me know if you've already gotten value with that breakdown. We are breaking down videos today at the YouTube video review show. The next person I want to share is we got Bradley from B2 Brewing. And so I'm going to share my screen with B2 Brewing. Here we go. Boom. It's a product review video. We do a ton of product review videos here on Think Media, and we're going to break this down and give them some feedback.
3500 watt induction burner. What do I think of it, and how well does it work in a brewery? Coming up.
Don't despise the day of small beginnings.
I'm Bradley with
he's pushing record and making
and today
videos.
We're going to
and one thing I just want to point out, this video has 280 views, and my man Bradley has 31 subscribers. This is what we teach. This is reviewing specific products. Maybe you don't have an influence, but the product you are reviewing could have an influence. So just want to shout you out, Bradley, for doing that and pressing record. I think what's cool about the shot. Let me just start off with what's good. I think the camera shot is leveled. I think you've given yourself a good amount of headroom up top. Now, when it comes to like the video itself, you could tell that your audio is kind of peaking. Audio is 50% of the video viewing experience. You want to make sure you prioritize your audio and make sure it sounds good. And one way I do that before I shoot YouTube videos is I take a test shot and listen to it back. If it doesn't sound clean, if it's too low or it's distorted, I'm going to adjust those settings before I actually hit record. And I'm not 100% sure on the mic you are using. But nonetheless, I would say bring down the gain on whatever camera you're using or on the mic itself. That is the input gain, and you might be able to help your audio a little bit. But a wireless audio solution is a great way to make creating content more versatile. And so if you need to move around. What I also love is that he is sitting down, knocking out this product review and breakdown, but he's got B-roll in his intro. I think he's using his smartphone to create this video. And I love that he included some B-roll right in the intro, like I did in this live stream. This is a live stream, and I actually pre-recorded my intro and put B-roll so that it would keep you engaged throughout it so you can know what this video is about. So adding B-roll will keep your viewer engaged. But similarly to the last person we reviewed, to Hannah, actually, he sent in some photos of his setup as well. And so let's check those out as I add it on my screen. And so he's shooting it in his basement. So like, man, we got students pressing record, y'all. Like, it don't matter. Just get started. I love it. I love it. It's so cool to be able to look back on your videos when you do grow and you start investing in your setup and investing in your studio. But getting started is what everyone needs to do. I always tell people nothing replaces repetition. So getting in front of the camera and hitting record. Looks like he got the same ring light setup that we recommended in our cheap YouTube studio video, but he's not using the ring light. He told me he's not using the ring light. He's actually using the lights that you could see up top. So he's got these lights mounted up top of his ceiling. My only thing with lights like these is that they're very hot, and by hot I mean very harsh, right? These lights can be very harsh at times, and produce a temperature that you don't necessarily want to show off. So you want your lights that are hitting your face to be daytime temperature. We're talking 4,700 to about 5,500 Kelvin. If I'm losing you here, don't worry. You just want daytime temperature lights that hit your face, because that is going to produce the best skin tones. These kind of lights that he has here won't necessarily do that, but he does have another light that I see that he's put a diffuser on, this fluorescent light, and he's diffused it a little bit. So the shot is good, but I think you don't have to overcomplicate lighting. I'm a big one light, key light person. If you got one good big source of light hitting your face, you're going to be golden. I only have one light hitting my face, and that's producing the shot you're seeing of me right now. So I actually would, if possible, I would almost take, maybe turn these lights off and then just use this one light. And it looks like he's got them hooked up kind of like onto the ceiling or the beams, which this could be moved because it's just a cord. So I would move this, off to the side and down at your face. And I think it's going to be a lot more flattering for your shot. What I love about this Jimmy rig right here, I wanted to show you, is that he's got a clipped on mirror. It looks like a mirror that you would put on your, your car's side view mirror, so that he can see himself and monitor his shot. Now, it's not a direct monitor. However, this is helpful just because you can make sure you are kind of like in the right place, right? And so I would encourage people to invest into something like this. If you're using a smartphone or a camera that you can't see yourself, it's super cool. I was like, shout out, awesome DIY, as Suzette said. We're shouting our VRA students. So good job on that. We do have a video on a mirror monitor I have found on Amazon that would actually allow you to see yourself when filming. And we'll post a link to that in the description. That is about $20. Put it on top of your phone and you can literally see yourself. So if you're doing talking head videos, it'll be super helpful. And so, yeah, again, just looking at, he's using his basement. And I think, you know, more often than not, having a flat background is very helpful. I think for what you are, talking about, this channel is about brewing. And so he's talking about different things to create your own beer, which is really cool. And so one thing I would encourage you with is, because you are talking about something that you are consuming, whether it be cooking or, making beers like this, I would do your best to have as much as you can a clean background, because people are going to be watching your videos and thinking through like, okay, I'm going to be eating this stuff, or I'm going to be drinking this stuff. And you're going to want it to be clean and not make it look like. So if I look at your video at face value, I would think you're like doing like, like plumbing or, kind of like handyman type stuff, because of the downstairs, I guess lack of better term is dinginess. It's a little dingy. So if you're making stuff on edibles or consuming drinks or stuff, just try to find a cleaner area. And hey, dude, Brett, it might be just, if you're going to use this setup, just maybe paint the wall and get a fresh coat of paint back there. And I think that way it'll be super helpful. I also noticed that this is kind of like your brewer, or whatever you would call it. I'm not too fond of beer and how it's created, but nonetheless, just keep that in mind. Just maybe clean up the shot a little bit. But way to go! Way to get started with your smartphone, investing in some gear, making your lights work. I love seeing the grind, and would love to know again in the comments if you have any questions. Would love to answer some of those questions in the comments. But if you're getting value and you haven't already hit that like button, hit that like button. If you're a VRA fam, go ahead and put VRA fam in the comments. And let me answer some of these questions. Omar, how are you feeling about the hooks at the very beginning? Any tips to make better hooks from them or us? I know I've been mentioning a little bit. I think two ways to improve your hooks on YouTube. The first way, I think, is verbally. This is like, you have full control of your verbal hook. In your hook, you want to communicate what people are to expect, and you also want to get right into the content. And so, there wasn't a day gone by, it's okay to queue up your video with like, and we've done this in the past and we still kind of do it, but it's like, so what is the best microphone for live streaming and podcasting? Well, in this video, I'll be breaking down this new mic from Rode or from Deity or whatever. And then I break down, or you can just jump right into the content. But I think your hook just has to be right to the point, and you got to get right into the content. So that's verbally. The other way you can level up your hooks is visually. I think this is less of a non-negotiable now as you're watching this video and where the world's going. You want to show visualization of what it is you're going to do and show. So this doesn't matter whether you're using your smartphone or a camera. Just show what you are going to get into. And a lot of people have B-roll later on in their videos. I would just ask, put that in your intro when you're starting to queue up your video, and it'll make it a little bit more engaging and sell people to just stay on the video and watch. And so those are two ways I would encourage you to level up your intro. Another question I would like to answer. Let's see. Again, if you have any questions, put a couple question marks before your question and a couple question marks after your question. This person's asking a question on a specific microphone. I have the Shure MV7 mic for making videos. What are your opinions on it? I would say this is arguably one of the best mics you can buy, period. I don't want to make it too confused after that. If you have this mic, you better be making content. You bought the mic. This mic comes in at around $250. That's not cheap, but it sounds really good. And it has, it's very versatile in its abilities, that it has XLR input as well as a USB output. So incredible mic. Don't second guess that purchase. And so Shure MV7, great mic if you're looking into live streaming and podcasting. Let's get into this next one. This next one is from one of our students. His name's Jeff. And Jeff, the Jeff Bruce, is going to be bringing the next setup. And his setup is more or less in his office. And so let's get his setup up here on the screen. And let's watch some of this video.
Without him. Ooh, that's quite the glare in my glasses, huh? Gonna try to do without him. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Jeff Bruce. I'm Jeff Bruce, and today we're going to talk about why you need to be more optimistic. So it's kind of funny because last night I came home and I was just being
boom. What a crispy shot, Jeff. Shout out to you. It looks like you really invested time and energy into your setup. Just a few things that I love that I can see out the bat is that it's a very clean shot, right? This is a clean shot in the sense that he's just using his wall. He's got a little shelf behind him, but where he's positioning himself, I think he's been listening to our videos or watching our videos because it's in a place where it would cause you to look at him. Remember, we were talking about leading lines, how this shelf is pointing toward him. I like that he's nicely lit. He's evenly lit, and the background is darker than Jeff himself. You know, you want to be the brightest thing in your shot. Even if you have other lights coming into your background, you want to be you want to stand out, and you do that by having the brightest light in front of you, right? Unlike Hannah in the first example, she can brighten her face, her key light up front, but Jeff has a really good balanced shot. I love this accent light in the back. So this would be what you would call a practical light. And so this light is really nice because it just adds a lot, you know, you could see how it's kind of like giving him a what you would also call a rim light. I have a light on top of my head right now, and it's making me stand out because it's illuminating the top of my hair because I have black hair, and otherwise I'd get lost in this shot. And so that's what this blue light is doing. So I think overall, super clean and dope setup. We actually have a photo of his battle station, and his battle station super clean. But I also think there's some things that we can learn from it. Let me pull it up real quick. Here we go. So this is his battle station. Come on, somebody. Let me get some fire emojis in the comments. My man is going all in on content creation. Let me just break down kind of what we're seeing here. Number one, we have a dual screen monitor setup. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But you have his main screen. We have his laptop used as a secondary monitor, which you can do if you have a laptop. Just get a secondary monitor, and you could use it as you need. You don't need necessarily two big monitors, and which is awesome. We got his key light right here, which is giving him the light on his face, and then we have his this is a top-down light, but I think he's using this to kind of fill. So if this light is lighting him on his face, this light's kind of filling in on the left side. I wouldn't think that would be too necessary if, Jeff, you bring this light closer to you. Like, and I don't know if you took this after filming, but like this light in particular should be as close as you can get it to your face without it being in the shot, you know? And I think that's how you can really use this light to its full advantage. If you see this on the bottom right, you could see this little guy. He's got our framework, our 7R framework that we teach at thinkmasterclass.com. And if you want to learn how to crush it on YouTube, our students learn this framework, and keeping this at the forefront of your battle station, dude, you get the fire emojis today, my dude, Jeff. Shout out to you. You can see that he has a what you would call a condenser mic. So this is his mic. I know that he's when he's shooting his videos, he's moving it to the center of this, and he's standing behind his desk. And because of the shot composition, it hides the mic. And so you can totally hide a mic if you're getting a condenser mic or a shotgun mic. These mics are okay to be right outside the shot, pointed at your mouth, and it'll sound really good. His audio sounded really good. But shout out to you. I mean, it looks like he has a Canon DSLR. It looks like an EOS R, which is a great entry-level full-frame camera. So my man's investing in his setup, and that's why it looks really good. You know how you can also know that somebody's investing in their setup? Because they got multiple tripods. Come on, have you ever bought stuff and you're like, I don't need that, and then it finds a home somewhere in your office? We got another little phone. My man's going into content creation like crazy. Another cool thing that I see is an interface. This interface is actually what he's plugging his mic into. You only would need that if you have an XLR mic. But if you want to buy a mic that goes right into the camera, you can do that and simplify your content creation process. This kind of like the back view. So he's standing right over here when he's shooting that video. You don't really see this reflection in this shot, but what I would recommend you do is you can actually remove the glass out of your picture frames. If you have picture frames or art in your shot, just remove the glass in front and you'll completely eliminate any glare whatsoever. And so there's a nice little a hack for you that you can do. Super sick. And we got Jeff on the stream. So shout out to my man, Jeff Bruce, crushing it with videos. On his camera, if you notice this is an addition to his camera. What this allows you to do is add 2 extra batteries to your camera as opposed to just having the 1 battery. This is really smart if you find yourself shooting for long periods of time. If you're out and about, you don't want to change out your batteries. But one way you can go around this as well as get a continuous power adapter. Getting a continuous power adapter, you plug it into the wall, and that way you don't have to worry too much about your battery dying at all. You actually wouldn't have to worry about it at all. Another shot I saw of his setup is, dude, my man Jeff has this on the left side of his shot. I was like, bro, you got this accent wall, dude? My goodness. So what I see in Jeff's setup is something I absolutely love, and that is creating a YouTube setup that is 360, and that you can shoot kind of in any angle, and your shot can look really good. So designing your space in studio, if you have the opportunity to, by all means, is a really cool thing to do. And what I love about this wall is because it's cornered, you can actually do a shot where you're standing in the middle of the corner and have your walls be your leading line. So allow your corner to be where you stand in front of, and then have those wood slats to push viewers to look more engaged at you. And so, dude, Jeff, you're crushing it. We'll post links to everybody I'm reviewing. We got a handful more that we're gonna review, and I really appreciate you sending these photos in, and so we can look at your setup behind the scenes. But so shout out to you, Jeff, and we just want to answer a few questions before we move on. And by the way, I mentioned the 7R system that we teach. You can learn that 7R system at joinvra.com. This is something that really helps a lot of creators who are starting out, because most creators are creating, in advance, not recreating with the end in mind. And we teach creating with the end in mind and how you can reverse engineer that process. Let me answer a few questions. Boom. What is your opinion on a good setup for live streaming? What gear would absolutely need to get it done? Thanks, Dion. I appreciate you asking this question. My opinion on a good budget setup for live streaming. Number one, it starts with a decent, camera. You can use your smartphone as your webcam. And I've even learned that like Apple is making it so that if you have a MacBook, you can just throw your iPhone behind it and it'll use it automatically. But we have a video on how you can use your smartphone as a webcam, or invest into a decent webcam like the Logitech C920. The Logitech C920 is about a $60 webcam. Looks really good, great to get started, but you definitely want to be seen, right, if you're going to be live streaming. And then the second thing is investing in a decent microphone. Now, this does not have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to break the bank as you're asking for a good budget setup. I would encourage you to get the Fifine USB kit from Amazon. It's literally $50. It's a USB mic that plugs right into your camera or your computer or laptop, and it literally comes with everything you need. Comes with a tabletop stand if you want to put it on your tabletop. It comes with a boom arm if you want to boom it, and like literally you have that set up at your fingertips. I think we have a video on Think Media on like a super cheap budget live stream setup. And if you just search on Think Media live stream, you'll find it. But this video, I break down literally all in one $75 setup for live streaming to get started. And so you can check that out. We'll post a link to it in the description below after this stream ends. But let's get into the next one that I'd like to break down. I want to break down Madeline. Speaking of live streaming, I want to break down Madeline's live stream setup here. So let me just stop the screen share. We're going to share her screen. Where we are, Madeline. Where you at, Madeline? Boom. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Sapphire Star. Today we're going to talk about an experiment I did a few months ago with a program/platform called Restream, which allows you to
this is what you would call a tutorial,
over 30 platforms at once. I only streamed on a few at once, but I want to give you a little bit of my experience on restreaming on both YouTube and Twitch. So streaming on them at the same time.
So fire. This is Saya Fire for the fire, with the fire. Love the setup, and really because of how simple it is. And shout out to Madeline, for actually putting her setup in the comments. And so when I was actually going through these, I was like, maybe she put her setup in the comments, and she sure did. She put her favorite webcam, her favorite mic, her favorite audio interface, and her headphones. But let's break this down. Number one, I think it sounded good. I think you know it's a decently clean shot. When you are the brightest thing in the shot, it kind of it takes away from you needing to like super clean up and care about your background. I noticed that Madeline has something that what you would consider is plug and play, just allowing you to just get in front of the camera, hit record, looks good, sounds good, and she can just get crushing. And she's doing awesome. She has almost 20,000 subscribers. But I wanted to share her setup in particular to the gear that she's using. So some of the gear that she is using is that webcam that I just talked about, the Logitech C920. So $70 webcam that will look really good, as you saw in Madeline's shot. I think it looks really good. I wasn't sharing my screen when I showed you that. My bad. So this is the webcam that she is using, the Logitech C920, an awesome, reliable webcam. Looks really good when you are lit really well. Anytime you can light yourself really well, you're going to make whatever camera you have, whether it's your smartphone, a webcam, or an expensive camera, you're going to make it look really good. So that's awesome. The mic she is using it looks like a $200 mic that is called the TZ Stellar X2 large diaphragm condenser XLR microphone. And so because this is an XLR microphone, she has this plugged into an interface, which is the Focusrite. And this is another $180. And I think this is really cool that I'm breaking this down, because I want to show you that you don't necessarily need to buy this setup to achieve this sound. And then she has these headphones. So you can tell she's definitely invested in her setup when it comes to the headphones, the interface, and the mic. But one mic that really will get the job done would be this Fifine USB mic. Look at this kit, $50 stinking dollars. And you get this whole setup. It sounds great. I've tested this mic on the channel, and if you're getting started, it's a great mic to get started with. And you don't necessarily need a full-blown setup. But Madeline, I think these types of videos that you're creating, and I know you make different types of videos on your channel, but I think you're crushing it by doing these tutorials where you show how to do Photoshop, or even how to strategize some of the back end of Twitch and YouTube and things like that. And so for live streamers, if you're looking to get into live streaming, I think she'd be one to look at, because she has a fairly simple setup, and I think it could be even simplified even more if you just look at some budget options, watch Think Media videos, come on, and it'll be super valuable. So shout out to you, Madeline, for crushing your YouTube channels, being consistent. We see your consistency and we appreciate it. I just want to answer some questions before we get into the next one. We got, let me see if we started some. Yeah, we started some. So here's a question that was asked a moment ago by Sunny Days. Thanks for this comment. While making a review video, is it better to record the voiceover, then shoot the B-roll to match it? I would say it's kind of like a both and question, or both and answer. You can film your intro while looking into the lens, knowing that you have the B-roll to put over your intro. So you actually can be like, in this video, I'll be reviewing this Deity USB mic. And then I can look at my script and say, this mic is awesome because it has a light to show your voice. It also is a USB mic that's plug and play, easy to use, and it all costs under $200. And in this video, I'll be showing you how to use it and do some tests. Let's get into it. That portion where I read the hook verbatim, I will throw B-roll over. And that saved time in the filming process and now also time in editing because it's giving me a shot checklist almost too. So I think when you're making a review video, treat it like a voiceover, treat your talking head like a voiceover, but you don't necessarily have to. So that is, and that's why I say both and. But if you wanted to just literally record just your voice and do the B-roll, that would be what is called faceless, which actually pumps me up. I'll just pull up our next example who has a faceless channel, and so this would be a good example of just doing voiceover, getting a good mic, and not necessarily needing a camera, and that way you can actually crush your videos with a voiceover if you don't want to get in front of the video. So this is what you would consider a faceless video example, and that would be right here.
Being in stillness has always been difficult for me. I've always wanted or needed to know what would be next, what would come next in life for me. But ironically, I've never been fond of planning. Plans never worked out the way I envisioned them to. When I was 18, I planned that by 20.
So this is Haytal or Haydal. She has a faceless video as this example. And as I've skimmed through this, you can see she's using what is called stock footage. So kind of like Sunny Days' question, she is purely recording her voice and then finding the footage to fill it. That could be a little time consuming, but it also saves you a lot of money because you don't have to buy a camera. You can just, sign up for a subscription that sells free royalty, free B-roll, like a story blocks or an art list or something. These are examples of places you can subscribe. But like Madeline in our last example, she actually puts the mic she uses, and I think she sounded really good, but it looks like she is using the Audio Technica. I made a video on this. It's the Audio Technica 2020 mic, and it comes with everything you need for $180, which is pretty sweet in my opinion. And this mic is a dynamic mic, so it's going to sound kind of like how I sound right now. It's going to cut out a lot of exterior noises, and so if you're doing faceless content or voiceovers and stuff like that, great kind of mic to invest in. But I think shout out to her for going for it. I think when you have 100 views and you have 200 subscribers, that means your video is doing pretty well because that's a 50, like, dude, if we got 50% of views based off our subscribers, that would be insane on Think Media. So I would encourage you to keep going. Hate all. I would say this is something that is kind of insider language when it comes to creating YouTube videos. But that is cadence of your videos. Cadence is essentially like how your video is flowing. When you think about cadence, it's like, is it moving along? And one way I've actually learned to grow in my editing skills when it comes to cadence in my edits is showing my edit to other people. When you show it to a family, a friend or a family member, and you watch them watch your video, it'll actually help you with your edits because you'll see them either check out or wait for the next thing to show up. And so one thing I found in your video, Haytal, is that it was just a little slow. Like we want to kind of keep it going, even if your mood and vibe is pretty mellow, like it was, to just kind of like maybe keep the footage kind of rolling a little bit quicker. But that would just help your average view duration. But showing somebody your video would be super helpful. And so, yeah, a question that came in was, how can I use a green screen while filming on my iPhone? I think the answer is in the question. I would say get a green screen. Number one key to using a green screen is evenly lighting it. You want to make sure you light your green screen evenly. We have a video on that. If you type in green screen Think Media onto YouTube, you will find that your boy got you covered. And this is regardless of a phone or a camera. It's more or less the principles of using a green screen and then how to key it out in post or however you would like to do it that way. But the key when it comes to using a green screen is to evenly light the screen. You don't want any shadows in the screen. Really awesome question by JM Aquino. How far should a camera be in a talking head video for a blurry background on a desk? How far should a camera be with a talking video for a blurry background on a desk? So I am on a desk and I have a blurry background, and the camera setup I'm using is a Canon M50 Mark II with a Sigma 16mm lens. This is a very popular YouTube talking head setup where just about arm's length distance allows you to get that blurry background. This is like a medium wide shot, which I love. I love the focal length, but I think it's important that everyone watching this knows this fact, and that is it is the lens that gives you the look of your video. And so you want to invest into a good lens if you want a decent shot, but having a 16mm lens on any crop censored camera will give you a very similar shot like this. And so that's what I would encourage. Again, videos on that if you look on our YouTube channel. Let me see if there's another question. Any suggestions for shooting top-down videos? There's a lot of ways that you can achieve this with a camera or a smartphone. There is actually mounts that are created for this. We have a video called Best Overhead Camera Setup for YouTube. It's an Archon mount that can hold a camera, kind of like even if it's a little heavier, it'll hold it. But you can also use a kind of like a microphone boom arm. If you have your smartphone and you get a boom arm like this, that you can see in the shot like that. Sorry, just knocked the thing. We are on a live stream, and you can actually boom your smartphone up top with a smartphone clamp and get that. Jordan on our team has actually done that. So smartphone YouTube Studio, and we made a video on that with this setup right here. So this is the best YouTube Studio setup for beginners, and love it because Jordan on our team is doing cooking videos and she's shooting top-down shots with a setup like this. So this is all resources that we'll be sure to link in the description and is available for you to learn from. But with that being said, I'd love to bring up our next example, which is a cooking video. Let's just roll into this cooking video example, and we will get into it. As you can see, I can probably get better at friggin' pulling up videos, huh? All right, here we go.
I'm taking advantage of spring's harvest bounty. I've got a nice little batch of sweet corn that I want to freeze. And I'm going to freeze some as corn on the cob, and some I'm going to cut the corn off the cob and freeze it as just whole kernel corn so that I can use it for soups and stews.
Awesome. This is Denise, this and that with Denise Jordan. She's got a cooking channel, killing the game with 50,000+ subs, making consistent videos. And just so you can get an idea, I want to show you kind of like so this is a good talking head shot. I would encourage you, Denise, to throw in some B-roll when you're doing your intro here, just to show what you're doing. So you said it, but it's one thing to show it. So show what you're doing. And I skimmed through your video and I watched it, and you've got different angles. You're doing different things. You're cutting the corn, and you're doing all these things that you can literally throw into your intro and then tease for the rest of the video. But I do love how much effort you're putting in your videos. You can tell you work really hard. You have your shot that is your talking head shot in your kitchen. And then you also have a secondary angle so that you can only have to do things once. I noticed that she was doing it when she was cutting here, and there was a secondary angle that she was cutting the corn, which is great, easy when editing. You can do this after the fact, but if you have a secondary camera, or maybe you have a camera and then a smartphone, use it as a secondary angle. But your lighting is amazing. I mean, I think it doesn't get better than truly. Dude, look how much she's literally trying to make the best version of this YouTube video by showing you everything. But I think this shot is just so clean. It's well lit. She stands out. I would even say her choice of clothing is good. I honestly don't have much because I think you've got it dialed. I mean, you got 50,000 subscribers. You're doing something right, Denise? But I would encourage you just add that B-roll in the beginning, and I think it'll help viewers stay throughout a little bit longer, and it'll help level up some of your videos. The next example I got is if you plan on getting into video podcasts, this would be something that you want to look into or follow along. This is Strike the Ground with Pierre, and I didn't catch his wife's name, but this is a multicam video podcast. And so I'm just going to cut right in front of it just so you guys can get a vibe.
But this is at least the origins of our multi-camera view.
Yeah.
Look at that, leveling up their setup.
The cameras.
Yes. So
this is
we've
a
taken a
video
little
podcast.
bit of a break.
I want to break this down a little bit. Number one, just on some, I just want to help you guys out with your intro. Your intro was your bumper. I think a lot of newer YouTubers are doing this. You had like a 20-second bumper, 21-second bumper, or that showed like your photos and stuff like that. And in where we are going, you don't want to lose people right at the beginning. So I would say get a dialed hook shot in your podcast, and you can shoot it after the conversation. Hey, in this video and in this conversation, we talk about this, this, and that, and how you can XYZ. Let's get into it. Show your bumper and then get right into it. I think that will be super helpful. But shout out to you guys for investing into your setup. Here's what I love about having a secondary angles with a podcast like this is when you create reels, TikToks, or YouTube shorts, grabbing them from this angle is going to be really fire. Okay. It's going to be more dynamic to see this shot cropped into an Instagram reel than this shot right here, where there's not too much dynamic going on because it's a wider shot. It's not really blurry background. But if you cut into this one of these shots, it'll be really good for a YouTube short or a reel. I would say this shot is a little bit busy. I think this this looks like a what do you guys think this is? Is this like bow and arrow thing, dude? Holy crap. These people ain't playing, yo. Strike the ground. Hello. No, but this is just kind of it's taking away attention from me looking at you guys and drawing my attention to something that isn't what you want people to focus on. Another thing I would encourage you with is what is called headroom. There's just a lot of headroom. So if you see how much headroom is here, the camera could either be tilted down or brought down more to eye level, and it'll be more natural to watch to give the viewers a more natural viewing experience. But it looks like they're editing it in post and switching up the angles, which is awesome. The mics that they have in this shot are the Shure SM7Bs. These are $400 mics, and you need a lot of stuff to make them actually work. But if you got it in you and you want the mic that Joe Rogan uses and all the famous podcasters use, that is the Shure SM7B. We have a video on this comparing the MV7, and that is the best microphone for podcasting and live streaming. And you can save some money by literally getting the MV7. I know somebody earlier asked if that's a good mic, and the MV7 is awesome, but a lot of people want what all the big heavy hitters are doing. But great job crushing it with video podcasts. If you're getting value in this, hit that like button if you haven't already. I want to answer a few more questions and maybe take on one more studio or video review. And I might have saved the best for last. But ask your questions if you've got them. This question is, do we need classes to go to the next level or a coach when we feel like we tried all free advices? My simple answer to that is yes. I think in anything you want to get better in, I think you should have a coach or a community to help you get better. And I think one example that we see this in is in professional sports. Literally, you're watching professionals at the highest level perform, and they have coaches. I think there's something to say about that. I've learned LeBron James invests about $1 million into himself every year. Like that's dieting, that's trainers for strength, trainers for cardio, basketball, shooting, defensive. Like investing in a coach is really a smart thing to do. And that's why this is a good segue to talk about what this video is sponsored by our YouTube, our free class called thinkmasterclass.com. And you can learn how to get your first 1,000 subscribers. And if you're watching on the live stream, Heather from the team will actually be doing a class tonight. So make sure you go to thinkmasterclass.com and we're going to check out this other video by a real estate agent, which I appreciate. People who have a business and they are, they're going all in on marketing their business with YouTube, because I would argue it's one of the best ways to do that. And so this is Jim, who's a real estate agent, and I know you're going to get a lot of value out of this this video. Boom, boom. Oh, we got to make sure you guys hear it, right? So this is Jim, real estate. Let's go.
To do 1504 Starline is the place for you. The chores, the stores,
man,
fresh
we got
air,
drone shots
next and square, land spreading out so far and wide, and yet you're not stuck in the countryside. 1504 Starline, you are there, and we cannot wait to show you around.
Amazing. So much going on here. He obviously has some help. This isn't a solo creator. This is someone who is using their business and investing into their business via marketing. And I think a lot of people in our community are in this place. You have the budget to be able to afford somebody to help you. But what we got going on, we have a wireless mic on his shirt. So this is a mic that can plug into the camera wirelessly. One I highly recommend is the Deity Pocket Wireless. This is about a $180 wireless mic that works with a smartphone or a camera, but this sounds really good. And you could tell this person is on a gimbal, whoever's filming him. And you can also tell that he really thought through this intro. It's very dialed.
1504 Starline is the place for you. The chores, the stores, fresh air.
So we talked about, using the what you say and then demonstrating it with video. And so showing these drone shots of showing what you're getting into, and really just a fire video on the listing of this home. And what's really cool about using YouTube for real estate, in my opinion, truly is that you don't, number one, the videos you're making people are searching. That's a fact. Like people are moving everywhere. So you can always make videos. What is $400,000 going to get you in Somerville, South Carolina? And you could see he has 320 views. And when somebody buys this home, this video will be highly worth it, right? So you don't need a ton of views if you're in real estate. But I just love that he's switching up the shot. Anytime you can think through your video planning process, you moving around, even if it's hiding when you're outdoors necessarily, that you can make your videos a little more interesting just because of movement. And it'll actually save you in editing because you don't have to add so much flair in the B-roll and in text and stuff, because your background's constantly changing. It's keeping your viewers engaged. Would love to know what you guys think about Jim's video in the comments, man. I think he's really for having just a couple of videos on his YouTube channel, he's absolutely crushing it. All these people that I shared today are students of ours in our Video Ranking Academy. And if you want to check out whatever that looks like, you can just go to thinkmasterclass.com. But just amazing. So, and we had Victoria linking up everything that I was mentioning, and we'll post links to all these videos that I reviewed in this video in the description. But I would love to know, what did you learn today? Have you been joining me for this entire hour? I love you. Can I say that? Can I say I love you? Is that okay? I appreciate you joining and hanging out with me. Would love to answer a couple questions before we sign off. I think one thing I can actually help identify, I've said this a lot in this stream, is A-roll and B-roll. And let me just break that down. A-roll is essentially the video footage where the main audio source is coming from. So if A-roll is your talking head video where you are talking to the camera and there's a microphone picking up that audio, that would be your A-roll. When it comes to this example of Jim, when he's talking in the intro and he's talking about certain things, this would be B-roll. So this shot is B-roll, that shot is B-roll, this shot is A-roll. So if anybody was wondering, I know sometimes we can get lost in our jargon as creators. Question is the A7C better than the iPhone 13? Heaps and bounds, 100%. The A7C, I think, is one of the best cameras to vlog with. And really it's because of the features that are in the camera. We have a couple of videos on the A7C, and Nolan made one as well as myself. And if you want to check that video out, you can check out Think Media, type in A7C. But if you want to like high quality vlogs, you can invest in a camera like this and you'll never have to invest in a camera again. But the iPhone 13 is great. I love using, I have the mini and I've been using this to vlog, and a lot of people honestly don't even notice when I switch it up on Think Media, 2 million subscribers, talking about cameras and tech, and I'm using my smartphone. Nobody really says anything. Randall, I appreciate you. Appreciate you joining. I'm glad you got some value today. Who else? I'd love to answer like maybe one more question. Let me break down my live stream setup right now. Would love to do that. This is going to take me adding a secondary camera, which you can do on StreamYard. And that is my Logitech Brio. Whoa. Solo layout. Here we go. Let me see if this will work. If the USB, oh man, we are struggling. All right. So here's my live stream setup. Okay. I'm using a Canon M50 Mark II with the Sigma 16mm lens. I got a aperture Cobb light, and we'll post links down to all this in the description below where I break down my office setup. This light is going to give me a super nice, soft look on my face. And then I have a couple lights in the back. I have this hair light that's being suspended by this Very pole. It's what it's called. It's like an impact pole. It's not drilled into my wall. My wife wouldn't allow me to do that, but it's casting a hair light. And so you could see the color in my hair. And then that lamp in the back, that is from IKEA. And really what this light up top is doing is it's actually making this lamp look like it's actually coming this way, and there's no way that lamp would have the power to do that. I also have a fake window light that is not a real window, but that is my setup, and I break this down in a video on our channel. But I really appreciate you for joining me in this video. I hope you got so much value in it. And if you want to check out a YouTube studio review, the place we film and all the gear we use, and you just want to learn how we're doing it on Think Media, you can do so by clicking or tapping the screen. And I can't wait to see you in a future video. Peace.